We are live, brother. We are live.
Yep, I just got the notification.
Oh, cool, cool. What's up, my good people? This is your man's Chris Thorns with another live real talk session with my man's David Kelly. I see Chastity is in there. Uh, Waiting on some more folks. Hey, Chastity, how you doing? DK, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. I was just muted, waiting for you to do your thing.
Oh, okay, my bad. I see Chastity there. How you doing, Chastity? Good to see you. You always be the first one. Seems like it. Uh, she says she's sunburned. Ladies and gentlemen, who is watching now and all who are coming, this your boy Chris Thorns to give another real talk session. This time with my man's David Kelly. David Kelly said he wants to do a real talk, and he got some things that he wants to talk about. So DK, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying my weekend. What about you?
Oh man, everything is everything, brother. Everything is
That's the
everything.
that's the damn truth, isn't it?
Yeah, so this your show. You got the flow. Whatever you
No,
want to
man.
talk about, bring it, my
I was
brother.
just looking. I was just looking at the. I was looking at some things, and I came across a news story I hadn't seen before about the man in North Miami who got shot by the police apparently accidentally. Uh, I didn't realize that you could shoot somebody accidentally, but apparently, according to the Miami police, you could. Um, you know, things like that make it hard to defend. Make it hard to defend police as a whole, especially when you're coming from my end of it, where where I pretty much stick up for the cops wherever it's needed.
Mm,
I just think it's weird that they make it hard for people to defend them by doing stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen that story or not.
that's the one where the guy's probably he was laying on the floor with his hands up, or you talking about something different?
He was he was laying on his back with his hands up,
Okay.
and he was
Yeah, I
apparently he was helping a confused autistic patient because he works in a group home.
right.
I'm like, damn, how did you shoot him accidentally? A few
Yeah,
guns, and I can tell you it takes more than a little bit to make a gun go off.
right,
You have to actually put effort into that. You don't just shoot
right.
somebody accidentally. That doesn't happen.
Mm.
So either this cop had his finger right on the trigger ready, and he had all the pressure except for a little bit, or he just shot him for whatever reason.
Yeah, like I said, I saw a little bit about it. Ashley was watching it when Tommy was doing his thing on it, but I haven't gotten a chance to see the whole thing. But I'm curious about that. How can you shoot somebody and they already got their hands up? You know, that's kind of crazy. What up, Young Jay? What up, brother? And that is
That's
crazy. You know, it's almost like that you did that on purpose. You know.
you know you
Yeah,
shoot the dude that has his hands up. All this stuff, actually trying to defend police goes right out the window.
I know, right?
It can't work.
Right.
They showed up there. I don't know if you saw the video, but they showed up there with like rifles and shit. Like, goddamn, guys, like this isn't necessary.
So what was the reason? What was the reason why they was called there in the first place?
Because apparently somebody called and said somebody was walking around with a gun. And
Wow.
what turned out to be the thing they thought was a gun was the autistic patient's toy truck.
Holy shit! Really?
No joke. Because that's the only thing he had. The therapist didn't have a gun. The patient didn't have a gun. All he had was a toy truck. There was no gun in there.
So we getting
It's just stupid,
shot.
man.
I mean, it's not laugh at there, but I guess it's funny to a point. He got
And the
shot
messed up
over
part was
something like that.
when you listen to the man's account, and it's substantiated by video. You listen to his account. He says, "Well, after they shot me, they put handcuffs on me and rolled me over and left me laying on the concrete bleeding."
Right.
Like, how can you defend this?
Right.
You can't. And the only option anybody has is to say, "Well," and then according to the department that these cops worked for, they found out that they were lying because they wrote conflicting reports of what happened.
Right. Right.
So I'm just like, damn, guys, you're not helping anybody here. You know?
Right. And it seems like it's
And
getting
this
worse and worse and worse now. It's getting worse and worse.
this guy has just become as I heard in Tommy's video, because when I looked at the story, I saw Tommy's video on there. It's like he said, he's become the new face of Hands Up, Don't Shoot. Literally. And
Right.
honestly, in this situation, I can say I don't blame him.
Right.
And honestly, I can say this too. I hope he sues the shit out of the police department that shot him.
I'm pretty much sure that's coming. Something coming behind it. Something's coming behind it. I just don't see they're just going
It's
out the
not
window.
just gonna go away.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Now the thing that, well, I don't know what county North Miami's in, but the thing that the county attorney has to be careful of is how can you not charge this police officer now?
Yeah.
You just shot a person with their hands up and that was unarmed. If they don't charge this cop with something, I might go out there and start rioting because that'll be ridiculous.
Right.
So that's all I really got on that one.
Okay.
I might go out there and join Black Lives Matter in their fucking protests if they don't charge this cop.
Oh man.
I might just do it. And you guys know how I feel about that ideology.
Oh man.
Because I agree with Sheriff David Clark on this one. It is not a movement. It is not an organization. It is an ideology.
Right. Right.
And it's an extreme ideology at best.
You know, before you go into another thing, talk about that dude you sent me the link to, the one you said that annoys the hell out of you. Cause I think I see a lot of people making a comment about that, and I think they feel the same way.
Malik Shabazz? Oh, that fucking guy. Yeah. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I've made one other video about him. That link was, he was on Fox News, which, yeah, it's debatable their credibility. But anyway, he was on Fox News, and this reporter basically was saying the DOJ exonerated Darren Wilson of any wrongdoing in the Michael Brown case. And he basically said every time she'd bring up a fact like that that you can actually prove, all he would say is, oh, well, the Justice Department's done us wrong, or somebody's done us wrong. Every time. It didn't matter what fact she actually brought up. And it is a fact that the DOJ came up and said Darren Wilson wasn't found of doing any wrongdoing in that.
Right.
Now, I'm not waving the Darren Wilson flag, but you can't just go and say, oh, well, the Justice Department did us wrong when that's who you're asking to investigate. Stupid. Like, you're asking the DOJ, okay, you're asking the DOJ to investigate this. But then you tell them they're wrong when they come out with their report about it. Now, on the other hand, in the Michael Brown case, they did find that Ferguson police disproportionately targeted minority groups. They did find that. So how did they do you wrong? They told the truth about what was going on then.
Right.
But then after I looked at
Right.
that, I saw a video by Larry Elder who said New York's police department is actually worse than the Missouri Police Department because their percentages are higher.
So, talk about this. When I looked at the video, it seemed like that. What's the white lady name? That was
Nadine
talking
Kelly.
to him. Okay, it seemed like
Nadine Kelly.
she was calling him out on some stuff he was saying. It seemed like he was getting the attitude, but he tried to switch it around, say she was getting the attitude. And you could look in the comments section. It's amazing that she actually was being logic, but folks was calling her crackers and all this shit. So
Because it really doesn't matter if she uses logic or not. People are going to stick to their narrative regardless of it. It really doesn't matter, honestly. She can use all the logic she wants. If people don't think it's the right narrative, they're just going to call her whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
And honestly, I don't even understand. Well, maybe I kind of get it, but at the same point, I've in the recent days, I've seen a lot of Fox News videos, right? She's probably one of the most moderate Fox News reporters. Because everybody this is the funny part, everybody puts Fox News in just as everybody puts the totality of Fox News as this extreme right news channel. Well, you look at somebody like Megyn Kelly, who kind of is as down the middle as they get with it. Okay. And people are still saying she's right-wing. I'm conservative. So am I extreme right-wing all the time? No. I look at things how they should be looked at.
Right.
I don't look at, and as I told you before, man, I've gotten called a racist because I didn't like fucking Obama. As I told you a couple days ago or whenever that was, I don't dislike Obama because of his race. I dislike him for his policy. That's it. I don't give a shit what the man looks like.
Oh, my man Yi is in the chat room. What's going on, brother? Go ahead.
So, I was just saying, like, I don't give a shit what the president looks like. I care about what they actually do. So,
hey, Huggy P said he racist too. He said fuck Obama. So I guess he's racist too, right?
And I can't wait to see what the Democratic National Convention looks like, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be a load of crap. So, right. I'll tell anybody that'll listen, I'm voting for the Republican candidate. Because Hillary Clinton sucks ass. That's all it comes down to. And anybody who likes to sit here and say, well, Donald Trump is a racist, well, Hillary Clinton has a track record of not being for black people, so you might want to look at that. Hillary Clinton has a proven track record of being what you define as racist. So who's the actual racist? Donald Trump has never been in politics. He doesn't even have a track record. So I don't buy into that. I don't buy into them saying, well, Donald Trump's a racist. Okay. How do you know this? Look at what happened during the 1990s.
Well, like I say, bro, we all, especially blacks, like to play that race card first chance we get.
If that shit, I'm sorry to say this, but if that shit was a credit card, that shit would be maxed out.
Exactly. Everybody's card would be maxed out. Everybody's card would be maxed out.
It's not even usable anymore. That shit's declining now.
Right.
You're trying to cash that shit in and people aren't buying it.
Right. What can racists do for you?
Exactly.
What can racists do?
And
to
as
you?
I've said before, and I've had no problem saying this to anybody. Where was my fucking white privilege card when I was in jail for 18 hours? I want to know where the fuck that shit was. Because that shit was nowhere to be found.
Oh,
Shit damn
man.
sure. That shit damn sure didn't get me out of jail. You know how I got out of jail, bro, for real? Is I had no criminal record.
You know,
Everybody
people
else around me that was in that room, the lowest bail amount I saw in that room was $7,500. And it was a room full of white people. So explain that one.
Right. Right.
Tell me the judge was giving me favor because I was white.
Sound like your phone going. Oh, okay, it sound like your phone going in now.
Maybe
You
it
still
is.
there?
I might have to switch. Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
It's probably because I'm moving and my headphones are bouncing around with it.
Oh, okay then. Okay then. So, you spoke your piece on him, and as a matter of fact, Bree, I was looking at the comment section, and man, they just straight up dog that young girl out. They talked to her like she really ain't shit, bro. It's sad.
Yep.
I don't know. You seen the? I don't know. I don't know. You seen the
A little bit of it.
comments that
It reminds me
they were
what I
saying
saw
to her.
them saying to her reminds me of a lot of what people say to me in Redemption. It kind of fits. It kind of fits the same narrative. But at the same time, we're both like, oh, we don't give a damn. So
Right.
it's
Right.
sort of. I had somebody tell me today that the FBI crime statistics I used were wrong when I made a video. And I told him straight up, I'm like, you can't use two numbers in statistics that don't match each other. You can't use raw numbers when you're looking at two numbers that don't match. It's just not
Hey,
possible.
got a question in the chat room. Somebody said, what were you held for?
What was I what?
What were you held for? I guess what were you held in jail
I'm not going to talk about this. All I can say about it is that I did not hurt anybody. Nobody was injured. In fact, what happened didn't even involve another person. So that's all I'm really comfortable saying at this point.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Because the shit's not quite buried yet. So I got to be careful on that shit.
Right.
That's
understandable.
All I can say about the incident is when it happened, I called the police on my damn self. I have enough integrity to do that. Could I have gotten away with not doing it? Sure, people have told me I could have. But that's not the point. I could have avoided 18 hours in jail, just not saying anything.
Huggy
But I'm
P
not going to
said,
do that.
Huggy P said, look, David, there's nothing wrong with buying pizza.
God damn it.
100 text said, that's cool. Was it illegal? He want to know, well, he said disregard. What up, Chaos, my brother?
Yeah, I can say I wouldn't answer that anyway.
Right.
But I look at it this way: if you don't have my whole channel is kind of devoted to, and you've seen it, Chris, is to calling people out. If I call people out on on other people's integrity, but when nobody's looking and I don't have any integrity, I look at it as I'm a hypocrite, not anything more or anything less. So I better have some damn integrity if I'm going to do what I do.
Right.
I'm not afraid of calling myself out. A lot of people are afraid, and that's a problem. A lot of people won't call out their own stupidity. But it's just what it is. People look at everything and
what the hell?
People look at it and they're like, well, people look at things and they're like, well, nobody's looking. I can get away with it. No.
Right.
If you have integrity, you won't do that.
Right. So.
And think about this, man. Me having integrity cost me 18 hours of my time.
Jesus.
In a hellhole.
Right.
So, what are you going to say, man?
Now you do YouTube videos, and you say pretty much no matter what you do, they troll the shit out of you. No matter what,
Yep.
whether it's good or bad, they just troll the shit out of you, right?
Yep. One of my first videos that I ever did has 27 dislikes and 15 likes right now. Last time I checked. So.
Repeat that again.
One of the first videos I ever did, calling out one person in particular, or two people actually, has 27 dislikes and 15 likes. At the last time I checked it. So.
Oh shit.
And some of the comments I get, you wouldn't believe.
They do that shit with you too, with all that.
Mm-hmm.
They do that shit too with all that cracker and all that gay shit too, right? They come at you with all that shit too, right? That cracker and gay shit, right?
Oh no, it's more gay shit than anything else. And I've had, I think, some of them have been incestuous type shit. Like I fuck my own mother or whatever. Or I'm a product of incest. I think I've been called an inbred more times than I can count at this point. Whatever. It is what it is.
Shit. Damn.
I even get trolled on videos where I'm just showing a news story about something positive. That's the stupid part about it. Like, I'm showing something positive and you're still trolling the shit out of me. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't win, basically. And the thing is, on YouTube, you kind of know, I've kind of learned through other people and just seeing it myself that you kind of have to put up a wall around yourself just to block it out majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out very early that responding to everybody who comments on your videos just doesn't work.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, it's just, and I don't know if you've gotten it yet, but you know, with where you're headed, you'll get it. Yours will be different. Yours will be slightly different than mine, but it'll be the same gist about it. You want to ask somebody in the chat room, ask Huggy. I'm sure he gets it.
Yeah, I see that. Somebody say, look, explaining here what trolls really are. You know, here's my thing about that. Anybody can talk shit over the internet. It's easy for them to talk shit over the internet, you know, because you don't know who it is. They can say it, and they can just keep making accounts after accounts after accounts after accounts just to come in and say something stupid. You know, I don't know who got that kind of time on their hands, but they do.
I sure as shit don't.
They do.
God damn, I'm just like, where do these people get all this fucking time?
Right.
Literally, I'm telling you, a majority of when I get them is in the middle of the day on a weekday. People have jobs or something you gotta do? Really? Because if you got enough time to be trolling me, you got, you know, you obviously don't have a life or a job, or you're not doing anything productive.
Right.
Because, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say something, but I wait.
No. I forgot what I was going to say, man. Go ahead.
So, man, let's get on. You said a couple of videos about the lady who was kind of saying, cool, and you say you counted it. She said that shit dang about 50 times or 40 sometimes. I mean,
45 times.
She said the word coon.
Yep, and she directed it at one particular person in particular.
You know,
and then the video she made to him, it was, I think I sent it to you, it was all gay shit.
Oh yeah, they really got me. They really got
I think the line that stuck with me is she said he had a, and I quote, blown out booty hole. Like, who talks like this?
Dude, when I heard her say that, that was so sick when I heard that. That was so sick. That was so sick. But I said, a woman talks like this. A woman talks like this to another man. And her
That's not a
people
woman,
is
bro. If you look at her, that's a fucking tranny. That's not a woman.
But here's the thing,
That's a
man.
doll faced man.
People are egging this on. And I got people coming at me because I said something about when Tommy made the comment about the makeup thing. All I said was, I can't stand a woman that wears too much makeup. That was pretty much
Mm-hmm.
it. And I had a few
Yeah.
people that's coming at me, just took that whole thing just out of proportion. They just took the whole thing out of proportion. Matter of fact, somebody just hit me up before we got this show started and said, Chris, you are blind. Cynthia is a real woman. And I was like, when did I say she wasn't? Show me where I said she wasn't. And I ain't
I
got no
won't even
response since
believe it
then.
or not. Believe it or not, bro, there's a YouTuber that's worse than her, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, just show me when I said she wasn't. I never said she wasn't. All we talking about is makeup. But now, one chick did come at me, we talked about the makeup thing, but I gotta give her props. She didn't come in talking crazy. She didn't troll, you know what I'm saying? She said her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I said my opinion. And we pretty much left it at that. We started talking about some other stuff in the chat and started laughing and stuff. So I appreciate her for not taking it far. 'Cause you got some knuckleheads out there that want to take this shit all out of proportion over some fucking makeup. I'm not a woman, so I don't know how much makeup to wear this, that, or So I'm not a woman. I'm just saying I know I know too much makeup when I see it.
Yeah.
And
And, it shows intelligence when you can actually state your opinion without calling somebody a name. You don't have to call somebody a name to get your point across. And besides, if you come at somebody calling them a name and trying to make your point, it's not going to make them change their mind.
exactly,
If you call somebody a name, it just makes them
exactly.
more staunch in their opinion.
Hey,
Right or
check it
wrong.
out. 100 Tech said, makeup, weave, all this shit. I'm turned off 9 days. I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. Young Jay, what up, brother? He come in and say, it's a woman, but she look like a tranny. Basically, throughout the whole video, she said nothing but homosexual shit, trying to reference Tommy. That's what I'm saying. You,
Yep.
that's all you kept saying. Dick in the booty, dick in the mouth, booty hole wide open and all that. Seriously? Seriously?
Yeah.
Dude, we, we,
It's
we gotta stop that shit, man. It don't take all that to get your point across. I mean, just get on video and say, hey, Tommy, I don't agree with what you said. Here's what I feel about what's going on. Or if you want to, get an open dialogue and have a debate.
But
You
see, here's
know?
the thing, man. Like,
But
as we've talked about in the past, Tommy's never going to win.
no,
Nothing he
really not.
says is going to win. So it doesn't, it's like anything. Look at, I'll use me because it's the only real solid example I have. Whatever video I make, I can't win. So it's just, you learn to deal with it and move on.
It looks
Um,
like, go ahead.
you just can't win with these people. It's impossible. They're nameless, faceless people, if
It's
they're even people to begin with.
100 said something cool. He right. He said, but Chris, understand that as long as you can get folks looking at your page, you're winning. I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
I
Chaos
agree with
said
them.
too much. Yeah, Chaos said too much makeup, weave, fake nails, fake eyes, fake braids, fake ass, fake personality. Boom, there you go.
Yep,
Boom, there you go.
100%
Couldn't have
there.
said it better myself.
If
Couldn't have
you're,
said it better myself.
and as I told you the other night, if you get on a video looking like you get on a video looking like you just put on enough makeup to last you for 3 days. It looks staged. I mean, really, if you look at all of her videos all the time, she looks like she has enough makeup to last her about 3 days. It's disgusting.
And from my understanding,
I would never even get close to a woman who wore that much makeup because first off, end up making out with that woman, you're gonna end up with makeup all over your face.
oh shit, yeah, I'd have had that done before. I'd have done this. I'd have done it before, and it is not pretty. It's not pretty. But I'm gonna tell you
No.
what this. I'm gonna tell you what's disgusting to me. I'd have seen females take makeup off, like use a towel and take it off, and the whole fucking towel be covered in makeup. I just be like, are you serious? Are you serious?
Yep.
Are you serious?
And you know what? If you think, it's funny, these same women talk about their natural beauty. If you thought you had natural beauty, why are you putting makeup on?
Thank you. That's what I was saying. And that's what I was saying to the first person who said something to me about the makeup. Because that was an idiotic comment that you made. You know,
Some of the,
uh,
I'll tell you
if
this, man. Some of the best pictures I've seen of my ex-girlfriends are ones where they're not made up. So, what does that tell you?
right, and see that's what I was saying. Of course, some people gonna wear some makeup. I get that. I get that. But when you pack it on like that, then that means you're not comfortable with yourself. You can't be comfortable with yourself. You packing it on, got eyeshadow, dark all over your eyes, all this neon, black, blue, lipstick and shit. Come on now. Come on.
Think about this. Women work hard to put shit on their face. Men shave their face every morning, or a lot of men shave their face every morning to take shit off their face.
Right.
You know, like, now admittedly, some men do it to get the gray out of there, but, I do it because I look like a joke if I tried to grow a full beard. It just doesn't look right with me.
Chaz say we're making a belly turn. Yeah, mine would be too, babe. Mine would be too.
You guys want a worse YouTuber? I could give you one. Because there is somebody worse than the person who said that to Tommy, and I'm not gonna give her a name right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll leave it as mystery.
But there is somebody worse, and if Redemption was here, he'd know who I was talking about. So, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a YouTuber called Undoomed, but he's pretty cool too. You guys should check him out. He's more against feminism, but but apparently from what he said, he works in the film industry, so his YouTube videos are really well put together. I'm kind of giving him an unofficial plug there. But he's really good.
Okay.
In fact, I should send you guys the link of his video about this one supposed woman, because he breaks it down.
Okay. Well, we'll do that coming towards the end of the show or whatnot. So,
I'm not gonna do it here.
What else, brother, you wanna put out there? You know what I'm saying?
No,
what's going on?
Some of the things I've told you, like, for one, with all this craziness going on, I think I told you this last night or whenever, but with all the craziness going on, I'm actually glad I live in a 90% white state.
Okay.
Because none of this shit's happening here.
Right.
It's funny, some of the most racist states in the country are not the ones that are making the headlines. It's a little weird to me. Arizona and Utah are probably considered some of the most racist states in the country, besides for like deep south, like Mississippi and Alabama. And they're not even making it. Like, it's just not getting reported on.
Right.
You notice that?
Right.
And if it happened anywhere, they're going to report on it. It doesn't matter where it happened. It happened in Minnesota, for God's sake. That's one of the most liberal states in the country. But nobody wants to actually acknowledge the fact that the cop was an Asian cop. Not even white. He was an Asian cop.
I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting he. I'm sitting there thinking he white too. I keep forgetting
Nobody
about
wants to acknowledge that this was an Asian cop who committed this crime.
that.
So it's kind of funny to me. But you know, man, you look at what's going on, and you gotta just like I've talked to, as I told you, I have friends in the UK, and they talk about some of the stuff that goes on over here makes the news over there. And they tell me, they're like, it's the same situation over. It's the same situation over here. Same thing. There's nothing different. So
let me. Chaos said Black Lives Matters was in his city apparently, and they was telling them they don't want or need them there. Wow. Wow.
who? I'll just ask the question.
Wow.
Who was the city telling them that?
Was who?
Was the city telling them that they don't want them
Was
there?
who? Chaos was the city saying they didn't want him there. Young Jay said the makeup just adds more to the training look. Weave, fake nails, fake eyelash, and a pile of makeup nasty. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. You all right? 100 said it's not the victimizer, but the victim. That's the same. Okay, I say the people of the city was telling them white and black. Ew. Okay.
I got no problem with that. Honestly,
Neither do I. So let me
I got
ask you,
no
man.
problem with the city telling them that.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of Black Lives Matter, do you think that a
Hmm.
thug, do you think that a thug, white or black, could be for Black Lives Matter? Do you think a
Do I
thug,
think what?
a thug, a thug?
No. They're kind of
I didn't think
hypocritical if
so.
they do.
Exactly.
Because in your typical definition of a thug, they're the ones that are in a lot of people's minds selling drugs. So you're kind of destroying your
Mm-hmm.
own community doing that anyway.
And see, that's my thing. Down here in Memphis, when they started this shit by blocking the highway and all that, I seen a couple of thugs running across the screen. I'm like, nah, how the fuck does that work when y'all are part of the reason that the shit is going on, but you march for Black Lives Matter? I
Y'all
don't
are
get it.
like they're the if in the typical definition, if they're the ones that are protesting, they're hypocritical because one, they probably have, or a lot of them. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of them probably have an arrest record as long as my fucking arm.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems to me you don't get arrested that many times because the police just feel like arresting you.
They'll show make it like that.
I
They'll
heard
show make
something
it like
great the other day. They're like, yep, that's how it works. The police like it's similar to this. If you get pulled over for DUI, right, and you're driving drunk, it's like somebody trying to sit there and say, well, the cop was targeting me. I'm like, you live in a big ass city. Do you really think that cop had time to be watching you specifically to get you?
Hmm. Um,
As I said, in the city I'm originally from, I've heard cops say they don't want to take people to jail because it takes too damn long.
Hey, check this out. Young
So,
Jay said, "Why does a lot of people in general and the media try to group everyone that's black with Black Lives Matter when Black Lives Matter is an organization?" And Chaos came
mm,
behind and said, "Michigan does not have these problems. We are our own country here." Uh,
well, that's true. I've been to Michigan. They do their own thing there.
100.
As far as what Young Jay said, the thing with that is, you know, when this, I'm not even calling a group an idea, this group of people who share the same ideology sit there and say that every white person's a racist.
Yeah.
you're gonna have people coming back and saying, well, then I'm just gonna associate all of you with this. And is it wrong? Is it wrong to do that on both sides? Yes. Because I've met plenty of people on every different ethnicity, origin, background, whatever, that disagree with it. So it's wrong on both ends to do it.
Chaos of Peace said. Go ahead. My fault. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I see the chat room. You're going to say is thugs don't sell drugs.
So you
I agree with Chad.
Okay, cool.
I agree with Chastity on hating all stupid people, though. I agree with that. I can get behind that.
Yeah, I can too. Trust me. I can definitely get behind that, brother. I can definitely get behind that.
Because you have to understand this, when this anti-police sentiment started back after Michael Brown, what did people think was going to happen at some point? We were going to have people taking this out on police, whether they're associated with Black Lives Matter or not. Black Lives Matter are not the only people in the country who were grabbing onto this anti-police sentiment. I think both the people who shot police in Dallas and Baton Rouge both said they weren't associated with it. So that means the anti-police sentiment stretches farther than just Black Lives Matter. Now, can you blame Black Lives Matter for perpetuating the sentiment? Yes. But they weren't directly involved with it. And you're just as, and if you want to go a step further, you're just as much to blame if you're perpetuating something. It's like, it's the same thing. You got these pro-blacks sitting here saying that white people who do nothing are perpetuating racism. Well, I'll take that shit and I'll turn it around and say, well, you're perpetuating an ideology actively. Black Lives Matter started this whole anti-police sentiment, not anybody else. Now, the smart people can look at it and say, if I don't do anything wrong or I don't commit crimes, I'm not going to have a problem with the fucking police. Or if I don't speed. Right. Now, I've told you before, I drive like an old lady, so I don't get pulled over for speeding. So I don't deal with the police. Right. So that one time, I've never been in trouble my entire life. So, if you don't do anything wrong, don't worry about what the cops are doing. You're not doing anything wrong.
He's a different type of nigga. He said he uses
you're hating police for nothing they've done to you. Seems kind of dumb to me.
Chaos said he was a logic thug.
I can kind of agree with Young Jay when he says NWA started anti-police sentiment. Right. Yeah, kind of. with the music they made, yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I'm still tripping. It may say a logic thug. That's the first I heard that, man. That's pretty cool, though. Because I think you can be a thug and still be smart at the same time. So I had no problem with that. I had no problem.
You know what? The thing is, there's people who use, and I'm gonna go a little bit off on this one, but there's people who use intelligence for good, and there's people who use intelligence for bad. There's smart criminals out there. They exist. I can name one off the top of my head. If you ever watch a documentary about Richard Kuklinski, how long did this man get away with killing people? Years. They haven't even found every body he's been responsible for. That man is an example, just one example, of a smart criminal.
Mm-hmm.
That man's dangerous, don't get me wrong.
That's not the guy that they call the Iceman, is it?
Yes, it is. Same one.
Oh, so it is him. Okay, yes. I saw that documentary. That man was something serious.
He's psychotic, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't deny he was intelligent. I mean, he can lay out exactly his thought process for how he did something. He didn't just go around killing random people. If he did, he thought about how he was going to do it.
Right.
And think about this, man. almost all the unsolved murders in this country are exactly what those were: random killings, people the person did not know. Because the whole way our justice system works is, who do they look at first when somebody dies?
I remember they did the documentary. He said he had used cyanide to kill somebody. He was at a burger joint or something, and he saw a person that was sitting across from him or whatever. And the person got up and went to go do something, and he went and laced his food with that cyanide and watched
Yep.
him die.
Well, that was one of his favorite methods of doing it.
Right, cyanide. I'm like, man,
Yep.
I'm so glad I went around at that time, man. But when I saw it, though, it make you check your food before you eat it, though. I mean, I know you can't see it or smell it or nothing, but it still make you want to check your shit. Well, you should check your food anyway before you put it in your mouth. If you get it from a restaurant, you should check it anyway. So
Don't leave it sitting there without it being watched. That's the other part of it.
Right.
And I implement the same thing they tell women. If I'm at a bar, if I'm at a crowded bar, I don't leave my drink unattended. Ever. It'll never happen. Because it's stupid.
Right. They said this. Yeah, I don't club, but I heard of people getting their shit spiked. I don't even think spiked.
And you know what? If people think it can only happen to women, go to a gay bar.
I don't even want to think about that.
Just saying,
I don't even
man.
want to think about that. Hell no, I don't even want to think about that.
I've been to plenty of them. I don't go with that lifestyle, but I've been to plenty of them, and it does happen.
Hold on, let me ask Chaos a question real quick. Chaos, how long was you doing your logic thugging before you stopped, brother? Go ahead, DK. I just want to see what's his answer to that.
No, it's all good. That's all I really have to say is that, there are intelligent criminals.
Yeah.
The dumb ones are the ones who end up in court most of the time. So
yeah, those the ones that come.
You're pretty stupid if by now you don't realize you shouldn't talk to the police. So you're pretty dumb if you actually talk to the police.
He said 14 to 18. Wow.
I don't care if you're white, black, or whatever. If you get arrested by the police, do not talk to them. A lot of people think that this is the problem. A lot of people think that if they tell their story, the police are going to help them. The police are not there to help you. The police are there to build a case for the state. They're not going to help you. That's it. That's the end of it. And you talk, you have to realize, it's like, I heard the best thing. It's like if you're a first-time boxer and you're going up against Floyd Mayweather, you go and talk to the police, you're going up against somebody who has a ton of experience interviewing people. Right. You don't even realize half the time what you say can incriminate you.
Right.
Don't talk to them. I didn't talk to the police when they got here. Simple.
You know what?
But a tactic the police use, and I heard this, they actually use the fact that people hate silence. People hate silence. So,
yeah, they say silent. They say silent treatment is the worst treatment, and I do agree with that. Silent treatment is the worst treatment.
I watched a video of a detective doing a lecture at a law school. He said, what I would do to people who are adamant about not talking to the police is he would go into the room, he would sit down, and he would just start doing paperwork and not say a word. He would not do anything. He would just sit there and fill out paperwork, dead silent. He said almost every time they'd start talking, because people hate silence.
So it's a cop that said that?
And what are you gonna? It was I forget where I found it, but it was a cop that was talking to a bunch of law students. He was talking to people who wanted to be defense attorneys, presumably. And he was talking about his interview tactics. Mm-hmm. He would go in, start filling out his paperwork, not say a damn word, and almost every time they'd start talking.
Right.
So,
Did
and
you
I
say
look at that and I say, damn.
one time I talked to you, then you said something about that was your thing you want to do at first, go to the police force? That what you had in mind to do?
I wanted to do law enforcement for a long time, but
Okay.
eventually priorities shifted, and now when I look at it, there's no way in hell I'd go into law enforcement. No way in hell I'd do it. It's just, it's you know, you got good cops that are getting shit on for no reason.
Yep.
I got
Yes,
friends who are
sir.
cops.
Yes, sir. I know down
So
here
if
in
I
Memphis.
seem a little bit pro-police, that's why.
I know down here in Memphis, they trying to get some folks on the squad because they losing them pretty
What did you
much down
say,
there
the
fast as
governor?
they gaining them.
What did you say? The police chief or the governor said try to go a month without killing people, and then that very same day, like a few people were killed.
Yeah, they not even 24 hours, brother. The next morning
Yeah,
somebody got shot. He made the challenge, but I don't see how he thought it was gonna happen.
I think I told you. I heard something the other day, and this was actually I actually verified it. It was actually originally said in the RNC. 50% of Americans, according to a Gallup poll, fear violence of some kind. And in the African American community, that number spikes to 70%.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I can kind of get on board at that point with Donald Trump's new slogan of "Make America Safe Again."
Mm-hmm.
Because when that many people fear violence, that shows you have a problem.
Okay. Do you see what KI just said?
I did not. I was outside.
Okay. He said he got two older cousins that's cops in Detroit, and they hate it. And he said, "I'm sorry, his brother quit. He have one cousin." So let me ask you this: your friends who are police, how do they feel about being
Yep.
cops now? Do they hate it, or they still like it, or what's up with that?
They're borderline from what I understand from them. They
Okay.
still like the occasions where they actually get to help people, but they
Right.
hate what policing has become.
Right.
Because what they'd say is that a lot of times you're dealing with people who actually want you to help them. You're dealing with mental health type issues. So
Mm-hmm.
you actually get to help somebody who actually wants your help. And they say those are the
Mm-hmm.
most satisfying calls when you can actually get somebody some help. But otherwise, they're
Mm-hmm.
just getting spit on and pissed on all the time.
Right.
And you got to remember, this doesn't just mean when I say that, this doesn't just mean it's black people doing it. No, they police in majority white areas. These are white people.
Right. Right.
So, you know, they're like, this is getting stupid at this point. And I agree with them.
Right. Right.
And you know, I've never met, out of all the friends I know, out of my friends and everybody I've met who works with them, none of them enjoy putting people in jail. That's a lie and a farce. They don't enjoy putting people in jail. That's not part of that. That's not what most of them see as their primary role. They don't think about it, man. Do you really want to have to? Because they know when they put somebody in jail for the first time on, say, a felony, they've just ruined that person's life. They don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, they know.
So would you agree when I say that most of the time people land their own self in jail, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You. Because here's the thing, man. This goes back to what I was talking about with the detective doing the lecture to the law students. Most of the time, when the police call you in for an interview, it's because they have very little. They have very little evidence, and they need you to confess.
Mm-hmm.
So if they call you in for an interview, that means they don't have anything. If they had everything they needed, do you think they'd be called to talk to you? No. They'd just rather throw your ass in jail at that point.
Right.
They have
Right.
enough to do it, so why are they talking to you? They don't need your statement. They talk to you because they need you to say something that incriminates you. Because a confession is an open and closed case at this point. So,
Right.
but see, this is the other thing people have to realize when you get to the level of you're dealing with prosecutors. These are not the ones who actually formally charge you. It's the prosecutor that charges you with a crime. Now, prosecutors do have discretion. If you're somebody who they think is a good person, they could just say, you know what, he made a mistake. We're not going to ruin his life over it. That's what a good defense attorney can do as well.
Okay.
That's why I'm very much... I'm for police, but I'm also not for people incriminating themselves and getting themselves screwed up in a situation. So...
Mm-hmm.
Because you can easily get burned by it. Think about it. If you have a felony on your record, what kind of job prospects do you have at that point? None, if any. You can talk all you want. You don't have much at this point.
Right. So let me say this. Since we're on the subject of cops and jail and all of this, answer me this question.
Mm-hmm.
Why do us as people, of course not all, constantly goes back to jail, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth? Because I like my freedom. But it appears that the people who is running back and forth in jail, apparently some people say that's all they know. I disagree with that. I mean, you should know more than just
institutionalization to a point. It's institutionalization. It's being institutionalized, basically. I've heard plenty of people, and I was actually in jail with one of these people who said I'm more comfortable in jail than I am out on the street.
Dude, tell me you lying. Tell me you lying.
Nope, not at all. I wish I was, actually. Because this is what they said, literally. I get 3 square meals. Well, I'm like, I sat there and thought these aren't square meals, but anyway. I get 3 meals a day in here. I get a bed. He's like, out on the street, I don't get this. So he'd rather be in jail than out on the street. That's the way a lot of people are, unfortunately.
Oh, Jesus.
And you talk to homeless people, they will literally commit a crime to get arrested just to spend a night in a bed. It's happened. I talked to a homeless veteran who that's how he pretty much got a bed. Is either he injured himself so he could go into one of the psychiatric hospitals in the area, or he committed a crime to go into jail. How they work.
Chaos said it's like being in asylum for 4 years. They just let you go.
Yeah, as Bree said in I saw this on one of the hangouts. She said jail makes you better criminals, which it does. Think about it. You're packed in there with a bunch of people who are criminals. What's it supposed to do? Jail is supposed to be about rehabilitation, not making you a better criminal. But the other part comes along with that is there's opportunities there.
Wow. So
the opportunity is there.
So basically what you're saying to me is when somebody tell you that they comfortable in jail, meaning they go out in the streets, they pretty much homeless, so that's why they go right back to jail.
Because what jail does is this is jail and prison. Most jails and prisons release you with everything you came in with and that's it. And most of these people don't have any money. So what are they supposed to do? You're not releasing them with any way, at least get a bed for a couple of nights. You're not giving them any skills, really. You're not doing anything. So what do you expect these people to do? People do stuff out of desperation. That's a human psychology. You'll do anything you have to get what you want. And if you believe in, I think it's like a basic human needs pyramid. Food, water, and shelter is pretty much at the bottom, and that means it's a starting line of where you should be. If you don't have food, water, and shelter, everything else is... You can have anything. But if you don't have food, water, or shelter, what are you supposed to do? Because you can't survive without food and water, and nobody wants to sleep in a park.
You know, I'm glad you bring that up when you said, what are you gonna do without food, water, and shelter? Because one of my homeboys back in the day, rest in peace, named Cornelius, we was getting off of work, and we seen a homeless guy on the street, you know, with a sign say, "I'm homeless. Anything will help. Or I will work for food." And this, that, and other. And he asked me the question, and this question always sticks in my head. He said, "Do you feel sorry for the people on the streets like that?" I said, "You know what? I got mixed emotions, you know, because one half of me, I say no because you know they shouldn't have did whatever they did to get to that point. But then another side of me say I kind of do because they homeless don't mean it was necessary they fault. You know,
A lot of homeless people are actually combat veterans, so.
And that's sad. How do a combat veteran end up homeless? That's sad.
Because we have a system that really doesn't give a damn. Really.
Well, okay, that's plain and simple.
You're talking to somebody who deals with the VA pretty much weekly. So, no, they don't care. That's the thing. And even for them to do anything, let me put it this way, man. A lot of people who come out of the military are on some type of disability payment from the VA. It takes an average of about 12 to 15 months just to process a disability claim through the VA.
Holy shit, really?
A year. And a lot of people depend on that money. I'm lucky I'm not in a position where I have to depend on that money.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people do.
Mm.
When I put in my disability claim with them, it took a year. Now, they do back pay you for that time, but what's a back pay going to do for somebody who needs to pay bills now? By the time you get that check, your electricity, cell phone, whatever the fuck bills you have been shut off a long time ago before that ever happened. So, you have nothing.
Chaos said,
and you know, once you get...
Hold on, I didn't mean to cut you off. Chaos said this, and he's right, because I've heard this too. He said most homeless won't even hold up signs. You just see them around asking for things that people you see are frauds. You know, he's right, because I've seen a couple of them that be out in the street asking for money down here where I'm at. And just so happen, you know, it's a small world. You ride down a certain street and see them going to this nice house. House is nice as hell. I'll be like, wow.
Think about this, man. There was a video I saw where two guys who had families and everything, they were fine, but they did an experiment of being homeless for 24 hours. The guy actually did that. He said, I'm going to make a sign and see if people give me money so I can go eat. He was just doing a social experiment, pretty much. He said after he was done, he said the signs, people just look away. They don't even look at you. He said, so I got to find a new plan. People literally look away when they see signs.
So, in your opinion, why do you think we look away? In your opinion, why do you think we look away?
Either because we think, well, I'll say this. A lot of people think homeless people are either criminals or drug addicts. Which is not true at all. Yes. But some of them are not either. So when you think somebody's going to use your money to go buy drugs, you're probably not going to give it to them. Now, what I did to combat that, I can still help when I have this disposable income to do so, is I will get $5 gift cards from like Wendy's or McDonald's, and I'll go give those. There you go, man. You know, you can go buy some food or whatever. People, and you know what? Regardless of it, they appreciate it.
Yeah.
Get food. That's all they really want. You know, a lot of them don't want drugs. They just want fucking food, and who can blame them?
You know, my last landlord at the last home I stayed at, got this woman good. There was a woman that was at a bank. Matter of fact, at the First Tennessee Bank. And she was up there asking people for money. And just so happened she ran across my landlord. So my landlord said at first that she wasn't going to do it, but then she said she thought about it, so she went and pulled out some money. So the lady told the story that her car was out of gas and he was down the street at the gas station. So my landlord got the money and went up to her. She said, well, come on, let's go put the gas in your car. And so the lady was like, well, it's down here, it's down there. She said, okay, well, I'm finna go down that way. You know, come on, let's go put the gas in your car. So she said the woman just kept making up excuses until the woman just finally said, you know, hey, that's okay. You know, so I got somebody else coming up here. I said, wow, wow. But I mean,
She
see,
was trying to pull. She was trying to pull a fast one.
exactly, and I'm glad she did that. You know, 'cause that's how you can tell if they for real or not. You know, if she making up excuses, then you know she finna take that money and do something else with it. Me personally, man, when once the money leave my hand to yours, whether you're a junkie or not, I mean, it's pretty much out of my hands. You know, I mean, I don't want to contribute to nobody doing drugs, but you know, come on now, what we really gonna see what they gonna do with their money? You know, what are we gonna see? You know, so
It really doesn't matter what they do with
but
that
I'm
money.
saying
People are going to do what they want.
exactly. So I can their money can transfer to my hand to yours. Once it's out of my hand, you know, it's pretty much a done deal. You know.
Now, if a friend, now as I told Steven, if somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, can I borrow $20 to get some weed or something?" I'm gonna be like, "No," because I'm not putting my money into that. That's not. But you make a good point, because why should I care what they do with the money? But at the same time, there's an obligation to me to say I don't really want to support that. I don't really want to be like, okay, fine, here you go. I don't feel like supporting it. Um, you know, it's the same thing I expect if somebody doesn't want to support my cigarette habit and I ask them for money. Um, if they don't want to give me money to go buy cigarettes, I can't really say anything to them about it, because
Right.
that's their decision. It's their money, ultimately. I mean, and what am I doing that I have to borrow money? I'm
Right.
obviously not managing my money well enough. See, I
Right.
manage my money to the point where I haven't had to ask to borrow money in probably about 5 years. And I'm not blowing myself up for that. That's just how I manage my money.
Right.
Because I'm meticulous. I pretty much manage every penny. And I always have a backup. So if I find I'm a little short one month, I can go into where my money is and say, hey, I got a little bit extra. I can go do what I got to do. You know? That's the good thing about it.
Right.
That's what everybody needs to do. Budgeting money is a huge part of actually being an adult mentally. And I'm grateful to my parents for one thing. They taught me the value of a dollar. Every dollar I get, I make sure it goes to, you know, it's like anything, man. On the first of the month, I always make sure all my bills are paid and my house is stocked up with food. After that, everything else is fair game. You know?
Right.
You have to make sure that your affairs are in order before you just go spending money.
You know, I know a lot of people when it comes to cigarette habits. You know, they try to go cheap and buy loose ones. Isn't it more expensive if you constantly buy loose? Ain't it more expensive when you try to constantly buy loose ones?
It's, you know what the cheapest route is to do? Just quit. Which is why I'm going in to see the doctor here in a little bit, to see about getting options to quit.
Okay.
Because, you know, I care about my health enough, I guess.
Right.
But no, like, anybody who's been in, and this is an excuse because I started way before this, anybody who has been in the military can tell you 5% of the military either smokes or chews tobacco of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much a culture. So,
Gotcha.
And it's tough. You don't want to if you're smoking in the military, you're definitely not going to try to quit because it's too prevalent. I tried and it was pointless. It was the stupidest thing I've ever tried to do. I was like, nope, this ain't going to work. Because when everybody's outside smoking and you're like, damn. You're just sitting there like, God damn it, I wish I could have one. And then you finally give in, you know?
Well, I just say this, bro. I'm glad I don't smoke because I watch my dad smoke, and when he ain't got none left, this dude be all up in the ashtray, man, looking for what they call it, roach, looking for roaches, something like that. And he be all up in the ashtray. And I tell him when I see him do that, I say, dude, you look like a straight up junkie doing that, man. You really do. I'm glad I don't smoke.
I know plenty of smokers who do it.
Dude, I promise you, I'm glad I don't smoke. I promise I don't. If I gotta
when somebody comes up to me and asks to bum a cigarette, I'm like, hell no, these things are expensive as fuck.
You know,
hell
my
no.
dad get them pale males. You know, he used to get Salem and Cool all the time, but he get pale
Oh God,
males.
why?
So
those are gross.
I don't know.
Those are worse. Those are worse than Newports. Jesus. Newports will fuck you up too. No, I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't touch Newports with a 10-foot pole. I swear to God, I wouldn't. I smoke Marlboro Reds, so I guess I can't say anything. I smoke them Cowboy Killers.
Who?
Marlboro Reds, they're otherwise known as Cowboy Killers. So, those are pretty much considered broadly as one of the strongest cigarettes out there. Okay. Everything else to me at this point is like smoking air.
Damn.
But no, like, smoking is one of those things, and I'll just speak from my own personal experience. Smoking for me is one of those things that I do I'll put it this way. If I don't smoke, I'm going to have to find something else to help me deal with people because I might become one of those serial killers at some point. Just being honest, I just don't have a high tolerance for people, so it helps me deal with some of people's bullshit too.
Right.
You know, also it's something I do when I'm bored, but I can find other things to do when I'm bored. It's funny, everybody has their own reasons for smoking. When I started, it was more of an addiction replacement. I was addicted to hard drugs for a long time, and I switched to cigarettes to substitute. So it's an addiction substitution rather than its own thing.
What kind of drugs are we talking about?
I mean, what was my choice one? Cocaine.
Oh, wow, bro. Wow.
I went through, because I go and see a counselor sometimes just to vent about things because I'm just like, fuck it, why not? We went through the list. She's like, I want to do something with you. And we went through a list of all the drugs I've tried in my lifetime. In 5 years, I tried 26 different types of drugs.
Holy shit. Wow.
5 years. Bro. And I started that when I was 13.
Wow. So, all right. Wow. Shit. Guess everybody got
threw you off there, didn't I?
Yeah. But I guess everybody got their times that they go through. But that's all I can say. I've never done drugs.
I don't have I don't have an excuse for what I did. I was raised in a pretty good home. Both my parents were married and still are. There was statistically, I should have never been there. But I was.
Right.
Statistically, I should be dead or in jail too, but because of doing drugs. I think it was 90% of adult addicts started before the age of 18. The highest suicide rate in the country is people between the ages of 15 and 24. Wow. So, That's why, and that leads me to the next thing. That's why I'm a big advocate of volunteer mentoring programs.
Gotcha.
You can make a difference in somebody's life. And you may never, and that's the thing, you may never see the impact. But you have to see everything to know there's an impact.
So, how long did you, or were you on drugs before you called it quits?
5 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
What actually got me out of it, I think, was somebody, a close friend of mine died of an overdose. That's when I said, I'm out. So that's what prompted me to get out of it. I think somebody dying around you should be enough for a lot of people to say, fuck it, I'm out.
Right.
I can't do it.
Right.
Because it could have easily happened where I kept going and I could have been him. And I value, as much as I don't really like people, I still value my life enough to not throw it away like that.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, man, I got out of it and I didn't fucking, I think I've told you this before, I didn't fucking go through any rehab program or any drug treatment center. I'm not dissing the people who'd have to.
Mm-hmm.
My parents thought I had the fucking flu. For real. That was that. Like, nobody, nobody knew what was really going on. So,
Man. Well,
that's one of those things.
Good thing, man. You made it through there. You still living to this day. And sometimes I hate to say this, but I just gotta say, things could have turned out worse. But what I'm saying, you still here, brother. So
Majority of the people I knew from that time are either dead or in jail, and a majority are dead, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's sad. That's sad.
And the ones who aren't are in prison somewhere. So, and they all look at me like I'm a big hero for not just getting out of it. I'm like, I'm not a hero, dude. You could do the same thing, just you didn't get out in time.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, you didn't come out of there scathed with a criminal record. I'm like, it wasn't because I'm not more intelligent than anybody else. It's because it was dumb fucking luck, dude. Dumb luck that I got out of it unscathed like that. So you can look at it and say, he should have been, but the fact is I wasn't. So you take it and you use it as a learning experience, to be honest with you. That's all you have to look at it as. It's a learning experience. You learn from your mistakes. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, what are you actually doing with your life?
There you go.
Because everybody's made mistakes. Some are worse than others, yeah. Everybody else. Everybody goes through things in their life. It doesn't give you an excuse. Right. Everybody has problems. We don't all use them as a crutch to do things that we shouldn't be doing. We use them to learn, hopefully, what you don't do.
Yeah, keep up the good work, man. You said keep up the good work. He's right. Keep up the good work, man. Because like you said, a lot of people that has passed, but you survived, bro. So how long you been clean?
Since I was 18, so 9 years.
Oh, that's wonderful, brother. That's wonderful, brother. So take this time, man, and send out a message to the people who've been in your position, man. Send out a message to them. What would you say to them for people who's in your position?
Who's in my particular position, or the ones that are in prison?
Yeah, well, both. The ones that was in your position doing the drugs, and you got something to say to the ones in prison. Hey, say something to them. What would you say to them?
I'd say it's never too late to get out of what you're doing unless you're dead. And the people who are still addicted to drugs, I look at them and I'm like, it might be hard for the first year or so to get out.
Mm.
But after you get to the point of, you go from when you first start quitting, you're like, okay, now you're just counting days.
Yeah.
Then you go to counting months. And eventually you get to the point where I'm at, where you have, one, no desire to get back to that point. And you're just counting years.
Right.
And when you have no desire to do anything like it, the years mean nothing to you. That 9 years, I don't even pay attention to it half the time. It doesn't mean anything to me. Well, it does mean something to me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I look at it and say, if I can do it, other people can too.
Exactly.
You might need more help than I did doing it.
Exactly.
But you can do it. You just have to have the willpower.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the willpower, if you sit here and tell me honestly, straight to my face, you don't have the willpower, I look at you as weak-minded. Because that's all you're doing, is you're just being weak-minded about it. I could sit here and blow smoke up their ass and say, oh yeah, well, just keep doing what you're doing if it makes you feel better. No. Don't keep doing what you're doing. That world's a shithole.
Right.
I don't deal with it anymore. But that's the thing. Everybody chooses their path. If you end up in prison, you end up in prison. And none of the people I know who are in prison look for sympathy for it. They know why they're there.
Right.
And I mean, does anybody want to be in prison? Probably not. But they know why they're there.
Right.
But they also will sit here. The last one I talked to was like 4 years ago, but he sat there and told me, yo, when I get out, I'm not going to do this anymore, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you can say it all you want, but your actions are really where it's going to count, not your words.
Right.
If you say you're not going to do it anymore, don't do it. But prove it, because your family doesn't believe you.
Okay.
Nobody does. Who believes a drug addict when they say they're not going to do drugs anymore, really?
Exactly. Well, let me ask you this one last question, and I'm going to put the link out there in case a couple of people want to chime in, ask you questions, or we can just make it a free forum. Y'all can get on the panel and just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Let me ask you this last question. What usually make a person relapse? Is it peer pressure or what?
I don't think it's peer pressure. I think it's environment a lot of times. When you have easy access to something, it's just that, it's easy. I watch a lot of documentaries of people getting out of prison, and a lot of times they end up back in the same places that remind them of doing drugs. If you're put in the same position where you're like, oh, well, this is where I used to do heroin, for example, what are you going to do? You're in the same place.
Right.
You're not doing anything to help yourself. But the worst thing that happens to people is a lot of drug addicts will end up homeless, unfortunately. But as much as a lot of people who are homeless don't do drugs, homeless shelters still are a big place for drugs, so it becomes easier. The other factor I would say is stress. If you don't know how to manage your stress without drugs, that will trigger it real quick. Because you think, well, fuck it, life's too hard. One of the biggest obstacles for drug addicts is setbacks. They don't handle setbacks. Majority of them do not handle setbacks very well. So they just go straight into it again. Because they're like, well, fuck it, I can't do anything with my life anyway.
Yeah.
You have to, the biggest thing for people, and this is on the broad scope, is people have to have hope. If you don't have hope, you're gonna self-destruct. And that's a big problem in this country, broadly. And I'll just make this last point. That's a big problem in this country. A majority of people do not have hope. They're either stuck in a dead-end job, not going anywhere, and they don't feel like they're doing anything.
Right.
One of the biggest things, and I was watching a thing on this. One of the biggest things is most jobs that people do, they do it just for the money, and it has no actual meaning to them. No actual meaning. It's meaningless. So you're miserable, but you're making a lot of money. What good does that do you? Really?
Right.
So I don't care if you, I'll put it this way. I don't care if, I don't know if Young Jay is still in the chat. I haven't really been paying attention much to it, but I hope he loves trucking and he does well in it. As I told him in the past, it's a tough industry, and it's a tough job when you first start out. But if it's something you love doing, go for it. I love doing it for a while. It's just a lot of work. But I'll say this, and I don't think I've said it to him yet. I wish him the best of luck in it. I hope he does well. Because if you can do well, you can make a lot of money in that industry. And liking it, or even loving it, makes it even better. So you can put the link out there whenever you want. I'll just keep running at the mouth like I've been doing.
Well, I say this. I don't know if he's still in the chat or not. I don't know who's all still in the chat right now. We only got 4 watching. It's probably included. But hey, 4 is better than 0. So it's all good. And appreciate this, brother. Hopefully, the people who have listen or watch, they get what you're saying, get the message, and it can be passed on in a positive way to other people.
I don't care if only 2 or 3 people hear me on what I'm saying.
Right.
As long, because think about this. I'll say this. Think about this. 2 or 3 people hear what you have to say and it actually sticks with them. They go and tell another 2 or 3 people. Where do you think that's going to lead? That's going to lead to a lot of people at some point.
Exactly.
So, I sound like a broken record half the time because I tell anybody I give a fuck about that if I find out that they're getting into the hard drug world, I don't care if I've never met you in person and you're just a friend I know over the web. I will find a way to slap you upside the head because I know where this road leads. So if I give a shit about you and I tell you that, it's not because I'm trying to be an asshole. It's because I have personal experience saying people shouldn't do this because it leads to bad things happening. Right. If you think people don't get shot and stabbed, think again. And if you think it can't be you, well, think again.
Yeah, I know that's right, brother.
And I've seen or heard about drug dealers stabbing kids. Because the kids were trying to buy weed and they tried to rip off the dealer, and the dealer's not going to deal with that. They kill kids over this shit, man. Don't ask, man, what do you think they're going to do to you? Kids, right. That shows they don't have much of a moral compass to start.
Right.
So, you got to think about that. When this happened, it's let me ask you this, man. And I'm going to ask you a question now. Actually, it's a 2-part question, but I'll just ask one at a time. Would you say that growing up you had a good childhood? You can define good however you like. Or I'll define it. Did you have adults in your life that actually gave a shit?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you this: in your estimation, what do you? Because I've never heard you say you were addicted to drugs at any point in your life, and I'm guessing you weren't.
Never done it.
Well, what do you think kept you out of it?
Well, man, people in my life, even though I started my mom, even though I didn't have the best relationship with her, but she, one thing I give her, she kept me on the right path from shit like that, then I see how it affected other people growing up, what it does to them, and I said to myself, that's not the way I want to go, because usually people like that, it's pretty much almost plain you can see that a lot of them when they grow up, it's probably ain't gonna be about shit, and I am right. A lot of them who I did see them doing drugs while I was growing up, to this day when I see them, they ain't shit, so. Am I saying that that I'm better than them? Not really. You know, I guess I got a better
No.
life to them because I'm able to work for myself. I don't have to beg for nothing. Doing everything on my own. Without the help of anybody. Long as I got my legs to walk and my hands to work. It's all good. So, but I would never sit up here and say that I'm better than somebody. I just say I just made better choices than that person. But of course, when you say stuff,
You made better choices than I did.
yeah, of course,
I'm just starting to get my shit straight now.
right.
Um, but I give you credit for that, man. Like, my point with that whole thing is, we both grew up in pretty good situations. You said you didn't have the best relationship with your, that's, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you have a better relationship now. But my
Yeah,
point
cause
with asking that
yeah, cause
was,
I'm not staying with it. Shit, cause I'm not staying
my
with
point
it.
is,
That's why.
my point is between, and I think you'll agree with this, between what I did and where you went, there was a very thin line separating us on that one. It's a thin line. So, and I'm not saying you don't seem like the type of person who has an addictive personality. I've met some people who have. By the way, I gotta say what's up to Sean. I just saw him pop in. So
Yeah,
I
Omega,
just
how
gotta
you
say
doing,
that.
brother? How you
Hey
doing, brother?
guys, how are you?
All right. Doing fine. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just listening to what you're saying. I was a heroin addict for 15 years, so I know exactly what you guys are
Wow.
talking about. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
You
was
can you
under a.
can you can you can tell me is anything I'm saying wrong?
I just sort of dropped into the conversation. Um, so yeah, I've only heard the last couple of minutes. So yeah,
I was just saying that a lot of basically what I was saying, man. I'll kind of say this again. A lot of drug addicts get set back because they don't feel like they have any hope.
absolutely.
Yeah, Chris asked me one question. He's like, how do a lot relapse? And I'm like, because they get set back, and then they get depressed and they don't feel like they have anything.
Yeah, I mean, the
I've
darkest.
never
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I've never relapsed because I got to the point and I told Chris this, and now that I heard what you had to say, I'll say this in a little more detail. I got out because I watched a friend die of a heroin overdose. So there's always been motivation for me not to get back into it. So
Yeah, that wasn't enough for me. I saw lots of my friends die from overdoses. Lots of people
and everybody's
died.
different, man.
Sure.
That was after 5 years of being in it. That was the first time I'd watched somebody die, and it hit me hard. So it affects everybody differently. It depends if you're hardened to it or not. It's all how you deal with things, I guess. It comes down to the individual too, because you don't. That's the thing, man. And you know this. When you're doing drugs, you don't lose all your humanity. There's still things that affect you. But most of us deal with it by using more drugs. So.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a disease. It's a disease. That's what it is. It's something, I mean, when you're a heroin addict, it's not something you voluntarily, it's not a voluntary process where you get up in the morning and say, hey, I want to use heroin today and I don't want to use it tomorrow, but the next day I want to use it again. It's not like that. You wake up, your entire body's screaming, you're in the freaking fetal position because you're going through withdrawals and your body's not producing any opioid in the brain, and you have to replace it somehow. And
you get to the point where you use drugs to just feel good, to just feel normal, actually.
Yeah, to feel
you get
normal.
To that stage.
Yeah, I was going to say. Absolutely. And that's all it becomes.
I don't mean to get too personal with you, man, but did you get out of it without a criminal record like I somehow managed to?
Well, I obviously started getting into selling and all that sort of stuff to keep my habit going, and I got into a lot of stuff. But what I did was I sort of attached myself to people where it was difficult for me to get done by the cops, but I was always I'm a very streetwise person. Like I would look at a situation and say, this is productive, this will meet my ends, or this will land me in jail. And I never, you know, I never did anything. And some of it was luck, but I purposely avoided situations where I thought, you know, this is crossing the line and it's going to land me in jail. Because I knew too, if I landed in jail, how was I going to use? How was I going to get any drugs? I was going to suffer like a dog if I went into lockup. You know what I mean? So I try to avoid that situation.
And jail just perpetuates. I don't know about the jails over there, but the jails over here kind of perpetuate the problem a lot of times.
Yeah, because drugs are easy to get, and in jail they're generally cheaper.
Oh man, I have friends in the UK who will tell me their prisons look like a holiday compared to fucking American jails.
Yeah,
So,
American jails are far more regulated than like Australian jails and all that. And you've got to understand too, Australian laws are a lot more lax on a lot of issues. You know, if you sort of look at illegal possession of marijuana, for example, in Australia, where it is illegal, I know it's legal in some places in the US, I think it is, but over here you just sort of get you know, you pay a fine and you're good, and once you pay the fine or do your time, in a very short time, it's completely removed from your record. It's not like we don't have felonies and misdemeanors and all that sort of crap.
it's not like it follows you around like it does here.
No, it doesn't. And I've always wondered, in fact, you know, about the US. I've seen it on movies and TV shows, and I've heard Americans talk about it, but it's like hard to get employed if you're a felon.
Yep.
Well, in Australia, no one really cares as long as you can do your job. So they'll say, "Oh, he's done some jail time," and everyone will just go, "Ah, doesn't matter. Just give him a job." We don't really worry about that too much, but the job market's probably a little bit less demanding here.
I told everybody, and I still tell people to this day, because when I was a young kid, me and my family lived in Asia for 3 years. Still to this day, one of my favorite vacations we took was to Australia.
Where'd you go?
For a whole lot of reasons. So.
Where did you go? You mind me asking?
Sydney.
Australia? Oh yeah, Sydney. Yeah, no worries.
But the next time I go back, I wanna go out of Sydney, because, you know, I actually want to go out into, like, you know, the other places that are there. It's a huge country. It's not just one place.
Hit me up, man. If you come to Australia, hit me up. I'll take you out hunting, and I'll show you some real outback, dude. Some crazy stuff you'll never see in the US.
That's awesome. I'll definitely remember that, because because one of the things I'm actually trying to do is, when I graduate from school, I'm actually trying to go back to Australia. So when that happens, you know, and I want to spend my goal is to spend a month over there, not just a week. You know, that's too long of a flight just for 1 week.
Yeah, honestly, you guys in Australia, every job, if you work in Australia, it's mandatory. It's government regulation that every single person gets 4 to 6 weeks holiday a year. Paid.
Yeah. One of the airlines I actually want to work for, dude, is because I don't know if you've heard this, but I'm actually studying to be a commercial airline pilot. One of the airlines I want to work for is your national carrier.
Yeah, Qantas.
Yep. Because they treat their people well, because the standard of living is a shit ton better than it is here. Cigarettes are a little more expensive, but, you know, that can be dealt with.
We get paid a lot.
And, you know, the main thing is Qantas just treats their people a lot better.
Yeah. Hey, just ahead. Go on.
I've been on a Qantas flight 2 times in my life, and every time you get on those planes, you can tell the employees are genuinely happy. Like, genuinely, not just faking it. That's not the case in the United States.
Yeah,
So
going Australia for you would be like going back in time. It's just a more wholesome environment. You know, I mean, I go where I live. I live in one of the tourist capitals of Australia, and it's like a country city. I go to a beach, and I'm talking white sand as far as the eye can see, blue skies, turquoise water, and me and my family are the only people on that beach. There is no one else, as far as the eye can see.
nice.
That's the sort of lifestyle we have here. And you can go hunting and fishing, and you can do all that sort of stuff. We have a good welfare system here, so if you're out of work, you can get welfare, and you actually get in Australia, you get about, I think it's like $250 a week from the government if you're not working. So
Wow.
it's a pretty good life.
There, it's ironic too, because one of the things that was the founding principle of this country was that Wild West mentality. Well, unfortunately, now that doesn't necessarily work. You know,
Yeah.
the Wild West mentality just doesn't seem to cut it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
we've got a whole different way of living here. I mean, if you go to the outback of Australia, sorry about the background noise here, but if you go to the outback of Australia, man, you will just freak out at how relaxed and laid back people are. They just seemingly don't give a stuff about anything. Especially if you go to places like Derby or the central desert of Australia, you go out there. I mean, there are places where I go in Australia, I can go to a place and the nearest police station is 200 miles away. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just laid back. People are
it's
very,
completely
very quiet.
unregulated.
Yeah, especially if you go to the Northern Territory, dude. Like, you go to the Northern Territory, it is out there, dude. It's like, for you to go to the Northern Territory, it'd be like stepping into another planet. It's just, you know, you go to an area and you've got the indigenous tribesmen that sort of live out in the bush, and they come to town, and you've got your locals, and farms are about 1 million acres in size, each farm, or what you
Yeah.
call a ranch or whatever, where
Yeah.
they raise cattle. They round the cattle up with helicopters. I mean, that's how big the properties are.
Wow.
It's just out there, dude, and the wildlife here is obviously, it's pretty incredible sort of stuff as well.
Well, the cool thing is, when you mentioned the Northern Territory, is I actually have close friends of mine that lived in Alice Springs in the Northern Territory.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. If you went to the Alice Springs, man, you would just be going, this is like surreal.
Dude, like, it's always been a thing of mine to want to live kind of out away from people, but still have access to different things. Like, I've always wanted to live on property that has land around it, and, you know, kind of like a retreat type thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like living around a bunch of people. Living around a bunch of people is crap sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the few. That's one of the few good things. You know, I mean, you can go out to, you know, places in Australia, and they're literally a very, very small population of people. You know everybody in the town, sort of deal, and you just and if you want spaces. I mean, if you want your own space here, it's very, very easy to find. You can go just about anywhere out here and find a place where you can go camping, and you just will not encounter a human being at all. You know what I mean? You just won't.
Yeah.
You just won't encounter anyone. So
let me ask you.
that lifestyle.
Let me ask you this: for people coming from, in my case, coming from the United States who are trying to live there, what's the attitude about that over there? Because some countries just are like, "Fuck it, we don't want it."
That's. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Australians are very laid back, mate. Honestly, and most Americans who come to Australia, quite frankly, they're welcomed. You know, they're welcomed because anyone who's a productive member of society in Australia, and doesn't have some freaking crazy agenda, they're pretty much welcome. The only time Australians get inhospitable is when people want to come and judge us or try and take away our quality of life or
Or try to import drugs or something?
Yeah, well, I mean, you might even get welcome for that. For some people. But Australians are very, very laid back, mate. I've got a friend who came over from Cali just recently, and he came to Australia for a week. Then he phoned home. He's a Mexican guy, and then he stayed for a month. And now he went back to America, and then he came straight back about 2 months later for Christmas, and now he wants to try and live here because he came to my hometown. So it's just what people, they come to Australia and they can just see it's, there's real opportunity here. There's great opportunity here because of the low population. I mean, we've only got 25 million people in this country, dude.
Yeah, and there's a lot of land.
There's massive amounts of land. I mean, you can do anything here. You can go to the Central Desert and go gold mining and start up your own gold mining operation. You can hunt for a living if you want. There's a lot of stuff you can do here, and for people who are skilled, if you're skilled in an area, you can come to Australia and get really, really good money. And a lot of people do come here from the US who are highly skilled, get jobs just for the lifestyle here.
I think a professionally trained pilot would be considered one of those skilled people.
I mean, if you were a pilot, you could get work doing carrying stuff in the central, in the Central Desert, sort of parts of Australia. There are companies that transport stuff around by aircraft. I know guys who spent half their life just flying around the Australian desert into remote communities and stuff like that, dropping stuff off and doing all that, and had a great life.
And they probably get paid better there than they do here.
Well,
and it's not all about money for me, but at the same time, you have to have money to live.
Well, I mean,
so
you know how you get the minimum wage? What's the minimum wage in the US?
$7.25.
All right. In Australia, it's illegal to pay anyone under $16 an hour.
Shit. And I'm sure pilots don't get paid minimum wage.
No, I mean, obviously we've got a massive mining industry here, so you can get a job on the mining industry here in Australia, and the base sort of wage is about $50 an hour for working on a mine site. Yeah, so if you've got any sort of trade and you work on a mine here, you're sort of looking at a minimum of about $100K a year. That's a minimum.
Yeah. Because as I said, one of the top airlines I want to work for, besides obviously some of the U.S. carriers, is Qantas. And and unfortunately, if I worked with them, unfortunately, I'd end up probably living in Sydney. Not unfortunately, I'm not saying it's a bad place, but I don't like living in big cities like that.
I wouldn't live in Sydney personally. This is the thing. You can go to Perth, you can go to other places around Australia which are like country cities, and you get all the benefits of country living, and then you've got all the modern facilities. So you get the best of both worlds.
What's your opinion of a place like, I always forget how to pronounce it, but what's your opinion of a place like Melbourne?
Melbourne's all right. You would probably like it. Melbourne would be probably laid back in your standard. The weather's a bit erratic, but personally, I wouldn't live there. I have sort of moved away from cities into the sort of country cities area and live on the coast. So I've got the beach, I've got all the fishing and all that sort of stuff.
Do you live on the which coast do you live on?
South Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's cold here half the year. But the other half of the year, it's beautiful. Oh, but your cold is far colder. It's really, really nice at half the time of the year, though.
Dude, I don't even know if my cold is that much colder because I live in Arizona. So.
Okay.
I live I'd have no problem with Australia in the desert because I already live in the fucking desert. So.
Yeah.
And I love the desert. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be a problem for me.
Yes, Australia's different all over the place, but yeah. Sorry, Chris, if I've hijacked your live stream here. I hope
I don't know. I think he's cool because he just wants people to talk.
yeah.
Dude, I gotta tell you this, going off topic a little bit. I've watched your videos. Dude, you're doing that shit makes me laugh. I'm just like, this is awesome. Because I'm not laughing because it's a joke. I'm laughing because just the way you say half the stuff, it comes off funny, but it's serious at the same time.
Yeah, I've just uploaded a video. It's called Break Out of the Matrix. And I'm talking about the fact that we're all living in a truth matrix. And basically
You think it's bad there, try living here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's got nothing on. Yeah, we've got nothing on you guys. But I just basically what you believe or what you understand to be true has a consequence on how your perception of reality. So I've talked about that, and I've sort of said that people's perceptions of reality are not even most people. It's not even real.
First,
because
the sad part. The sad part is, dude, 50% of Americans, according to a reputable poll, 50% of Americans now fear some type of violence constantly. 50%.
It's crazy. Yeah, we lost you, DK. He's gone, Chris.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah, he just dropped off. He's back. Oh,
yeah, I was like,
face, dude. We can see your face.
I was like, what the fuck?
I'm still here.
You've got your webcam on, dude.
No, it's all good. I'm not even worried about it now.
No worries. Your face is on the blog. Boy, you're on the web now.
Well, I have like 50 videos with my face on them, so at this point it's whatever. No, I get trolled all the time, so it doesn't really matter to me. No, I was saying in this country, I don't even believe it should be the case.
Hold on, let me do something real quick. Let me go and shut this broadcast down. I want to thank everybody who came to watch the show. I want to thank DK for doing this show, speaking in reviews. As always, it was a pretty damn good show. So tune in later on today at 5 p.m. Central Time. We're going to have an actual live show. We're going to talk about feminism, liberals, and child support. How much of effect it is having on the world nowadays. So I'm pretty much sure everybody want to say something about that. So yeah, 5 p.m. Central Time today, Sunday. It's 2 to the 5 a.m. over here where I'm at. So I don't know what time it is, y'all. So y'all do your calculations. So I'm on Central Time. So again, thank everybody for watching this show. Appreciate DK, appreciate Omega for coming on the panel, appreciate Yiz, appreciate everybody. Chastity, all y'all. Love y'all. See y'all later. Bye.